Hey guys, my name is Martin and today we have another video with a reaction. Today we are going to react to most baffling things about American grocery stores. It is from YouTuber Lost in the Pond. So yeah, I'm really excited about this video because yeah, we are going to find out what is different, or in better say baffling, about American grocery stores, and I think there will be a lot to compare and yeah, a lot of differences I think. So yeah, we can start with the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video with your friends.
Hello, this year I have been doing a lot of videos devoted to trying American food for the first time. This video is sponsored by SimpliSafe. After all, there's no safe like SimpliSafe. And something that you don't really see in those videos is the fact that we have to go and get the ingredients from a supermarket. I have two missions.
Makes sense.
On this mission. Number one, to pick up some of the ingredients for Maryland crab cakes, which I'll be making in my next video. And number two, to show you some of the baffling things about American grocery stores. And just as we pull into the parking lot at Jewel Osco, if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, do that now.
Yeah, go and subscribe his videos or channel and don't forget to subscribe mine.
In the meantime, let's go shopping. Well, first thing to notice is that you don't have to put any kind of coin in order to procure a shopping trolley, or cart as they're known here. This is something you will see at Aldi, which is something that you see at Aldi around the world. But for the most part, American carts don't require it. In the UK,
Some of the carts in Slovakia doesn't require the coin either, but it's more of a rarity to not, to not having a coin, to getting the trolley, or
coin-operated trolleys are a bit more prevalent, with some supermarkets employing them and others not. Back in 2017, these trolleys made the news when many of them were incapable of accepting Britain's new 12-sided pound coin. You know, I was just thinking about...
Oh, that's that's a shame. But I know that because I'm traveling quite regularly, quite regularly to Czech Republic from Slovakia, and the Czechs use their own currency, Czech crowns, and thanks God, all these kind of trolleys, but even the lockers where you need to use like coin, a lot of these stuffs actually works with the euros, because like the euro is the biggest currency in Europe, at least, right? A lot of countries in European Union and even outside of European Union do use the euros, but having a different currency which is similar size, yeah, it works. So it works so a lot of times. So yeah, for example, when I'm back home in Slovakia and I need to toss a coin to trolley, I just use Czech crown if I don't have 50 cents or €1 or €2.
Something. When we were in Britain, we were walking around one of the superstores out there, and I noticed these stools that I had forgotten about. They used to be in all of the grocery stores in England. They still are, it seems, and you don't see them as often in American grocery stores. Perhaps it's because the shelf...
I remember them from some of the stores, but I don't think that they are very common in Slovakia, at least. I don't know, or Czech Republic actually. Or Slovenia. Those are the three countries that I was living in. So yeah, I don't know. And even traveling throughout the Europe, I never seen those. But I remember that in the past they were there. But yeah, I guess in the US they are not common.
Shelves are slightly higher up, so the shelf stackers who use those stools in Britain, they need something a bit taller. So usually what you see in grocery stores here are things like ladders to help them get to those higher spaces, because as you can see, I'm a tall person, I can only just about touch that. And on the subject of size, it won't surprise anyone to learn that American supermarkets are generally bigger than their UK counterparts. I found this to be especially true at Walmart, whose retail spaces are so big they're not even supermarkets, but hypermarkets. hypermarkets. A hypermarket combines a supermarket with a department store, basically a one-stop shop for everything. However, it might surprise some to learn that Britain has its own hypermarkets with the likes of Tesco Extra, usually found on the outskirts of town. That said,
we do have a Tesco Extra in our capital city. I remember going there as a kid. Nowadays, not that much. But yeah, we do have a Tesco Extra. And I don't know what was really extra about it, because it was just normal grocery store. But I guess there was like the section with electronics, and then there was a section with the clothes. So you could buy like t-shirt or I don't know, some kind of dress or whatever. So I think that was the biggest difference. Beside that, maybe opening hours. Maybe they were longer in Tesco Extra. I don't know.
70,000 square feet, even these don't stack up to those Walmart supercenters which average about 100,000 square feet. I have no idea how to find crab meat. I've never done this. We could just go to Baltimore. Hello, just had to quickly come back from the store because I realised that I forgot to lock the door, and then realised, actually, that doesn't matter. Because even if my wife's cousin Chad has found out our address, we are protected by SimpliSafe. A SimpliSafe system with its advanced cameras and sensors protects your home against break-ins, fires and floods. And then there is SimpliSafe's Active Guard outdoor protection. Traditional home security systems, they only kick in after a break-in has already happened. But with Active Guard, SimpliSafe is turning the game on its head by stopping intruders before they even get inside. Here's how it works. With advanced AI and live monitoring agents, SimpliSafe cameras detect suspicious activity as soon as someone steps onto your property. Those agents can then take immediate action. It's honestly like having your own personal security guard. And the best part, Active Guard is just one piece of SimpliSafe's home protection system. You can easily manage everything through the SimpliSafe app, from arming and disarming the system to checking live camera feeds and receiving real-time alerts. And unlike other security services, there are no long-term contracts or cancellation fees, and plans start at just about $1 a day. And today I get to share an exclusive offer just for Lost in the Pond viewers. Save 50% on your SimpliSafe security system when you sign up for a Fast Protect monitoring plan and get your first month free. Visit simplisafe.com/lostinthepond to customize yours. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. Again, visit simplisafe.com/lostinthepond to customize your system today. The link is in the description below. You won't normally find milk of this size showing up in Asda because we just don't have the fridge space for it. And that's not all. The inclusion of preservatives as well as a different pasteurization method means that American milk actually lasts longer than British milk. So Americans can justify buying it by the gallon. But what is a gallon?
I don't know how long it takes to drink like a gallon of milk, which is around 3 liters and 600 milliliters, 3.6 liters, something around that number, right? I think the most common packaging for milk is Tetra Pak, which makes sense because yeah, it will last longest time, I think, off shelf. Doesn't need to be refrigerated, and after opening, of course, it needs to be refrigerated. But I almost all the time, or most of the time in these videos, I always like see this milk in plastic bottles, which we have the milk in plastic bottles too, but usually just those are like 1 liter bottles or 2 liters max, never like gallon. I don't think that I ever seen like 2 liters bottle in a store, like here is your milk. When you are buying milk directly from like dairy farm, they may offer you milk like in 5 liter like bottle, or in like 2 liter bottles, usually when you want fresh milk. But in the stores it was always like 1 liter bottles, Tetra Pak or the plastic bottle. Or the plastic like in the Canada they use this. Yeah, they use these plastic bags, right, for the milk. That was common during the commie times in Slovakia. the plastic bags for a milk, and nowadays you can find sometimes milk in plastic bags, but they are not as common as in the past.
Gallon, because both countries have different ways of defining that. A US gallon measures in at 128 fluid ounces, while a UK gallon equates to 160 fluid ounces. And so you might think, ooh, Lawrence, you lied! British milk is bigger. Well, not really, because in the UK, milk is not typically sold by the gallon, but in pints and litres. The largest bottle on the market is the 6-pint bottle, which is a tad smaller than a US gallon. Even if a UK pint is 1 1/4 the size of a US pint, it's all quite confusing. I think this will just about fit in our fridge. One thing you'll often notice in US grocery stores is the price tag. It's very inviting. It usually ends in 99. It makes you think, okay, it's 1 cent cheap.
99, that's called like because I'm studying in Czech Republic, and the inventor of this pricing was Baťa, right? Which was the shoemaker, and later he was making a lot of different stuff in his company, but we call it like Baťovská cena, like Baťov's price. I don't know how to make it in English. Yeah, actually the Czech guy invented, I don't know if you can say that invented this, but he made it famous, this kind of pricing, the 99 at the end.
Than say $8 if it's $7.99, and that's great. So you get the thing, you put it in your cart, and you walk up to the till thinking, all right, great, we've made some good deals here, until sales tax happens. In the US, sales tax is added at the point of purchase, and after 17 years living in the country, I no longer bat an eyelid.
Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, then the price doesn't look so good after checking out at the cash register, right?
At this. But having arrived here from a country where value added tax is included in the price tag, it did briefly make me reconsider buying a ukulele when I barely had enough money to justify it in the first place. What's this? Refrigerated eggs. This is not something you would see in a British store, where the eggs are usually placed just on a shelf somewhere away from refrigeration. And why is that? It all comes down to both countries' attempts at preventing contamination. In the United States, the USDA mandates that eggs must be washed and sanitized before they reach the consumer. Basically, this is to ensure that it's not covered in chicken. The European Union, on the other hand, says that Class A eggs must not be washed, which sounds mental, right? Except the EU believes that washing eggs can do more harm than good. And there's a couple of reasons for this. When a hen lays an egg, she coats it in a cuticle in order to protect the egg against contamination once it pops out. Anyway, it's thought that washing eggs can result in the removal of this cuticle, making eggs vulnerable to pathogenic contamination. In America, the USDA requires producers to wash eggs in water with a minimum temperature of 90 degrees Fahrenheit. They are then rinsed with a special cleaning spray with the intention of eradicating contamination, and then dried. Not drying the eggs would mean that the resulting moisture could become a breeding ground for salmonella. Additionally, using cold or dirty water in the cleaning process would cause bacteria to seep in, and there'd be no extra lives for that egg. So what's this got to do with refrigeration? Well, firstly, the USDA freely admits that washing the egg can remove the cuticles, so chilling the eggs in store becomes more critical. In Britain and the EU, not so much. One thing that's
not so much. Yes, we are not washing eggs. That's right. And but all the sanitization. Oh my god, I hate those words. Those like chicken farms are trying to be as clean as possible, even as much as cruelty free as possible, so the hens usually are quite good condition, you know, for like mass chicken farm, like these giant chicken farms. I don't really looked into it. I know just some basic infos about this from uni, from this one subject that we had, but it is not really a deep knowledge, so yeah. But what I wanted to say is that the eggs from the grocery store, usually Slovak people, I don't know anyone who would not refrigerate those eggs after buying them. Like the first thing that we do after buying eggs is refrigerating them, so they will last even longer, or just leaving them in like very like cold, cool temperature somewhere in the cellar or whatever, right? Somewhere where it's like the temperature lowest in the house, but usually in the fridge, right? So it's not like that Slovak people would leaving their bought eggs outside somewhere on the kitchen counter or on a table in the kitchen or whatever, right? So we refrigerate our eggs. It's not like that we would not, but in the stores they are not refrigerated. Or yeah.
Often mentioned about US grocery stores is that the cashiers, when you get to the till, are usually standing up. A lot has been made of how this is not great for, you know, your physical well-being and all of that. We're not used to this in Britain, where they are sitting on a stool, and as somebody who has just rubbish knees, I can completely empathize. On the other hand, arguments in favor of this, usually by those that own the stores, seem to be that standing up looks more professional and that it gives the cashier more range of movement, which, as I'm demonstrating here, is obviously true, and I take back everything I said in the previous scene. But let me know in the comments what you think. Should cashiers be able to sit like they do in Europe, or should they stand like true patriots? Of course,
I believe that in Europe they have option to stand or sit, and I saw a lot of cashiers just stand because it's better, or they like it more standing and doing it, you know, this way, and some of them just sit throughout their, like, you know, registering those groceries. Yeah, it's about the preferences of the cashier, not about some rule that some store owner decided that now you will I don't know, stand for 4 or 3 or I don't know how many hours straight, or 8 hours, right? I don't know how this works. I was never cashier in the grocery store, so I don't know.
increasingly, both countries are adopting self-checkouts, and Chicago's Jewel Osco is no exception. I'm well practiced in this, and in fact, self-checkouts are, I think, amazing because you don't have to talk to anybody unless you're buying alcohol, but I quit alcohol, and that was one of the reasons, being social. What's going on with that? With that, no eggs? What? I used to be good at it. Yeah, that did it. We did it. That's good. Old Bay seasoning.
How many store-provided bags did you use today?
0. And of course, with Britain and America being two nations divided by a common language, you can't really talk about grocery stores without talking about some of the terminological differences. A big one, of course, as I mentioned earlier, is trolley versus shopping cart. And of course, when you come to pay, in Britain, you go to the till. In America, it's the cash register. And one that stood out to me recently, as people that don't usually go in-store, but in fact go to the curbside pickup lanes in Britain, which I'm surprised to say does have curbside pickup. It's just there, it's called Click and Collect. If you liked this video, be sure to watch 8 American habits that confused me as a Brit. Until the next video, goodbye.
Okay, so this was the video about the baffling things about American grocery store. As you could hear from my commentary, some of the things were very different, some of the things were actually similar what I'm used to from my home country, that, you know, the US culture, like US culture is of course transferred to Europe and even to Slovakia. That means that some of the things will be similar, right? And yeah, then there are the differences. But yeah, in a lot of the time, it's like the combination of both, you know, both things. Like, I don't know, with the milk, you can find refrigerated milk in US, in Slovakia, but you can find even like unrefrigerated milk in Slovakia, mainly in Tetra Paks. So yeah, like if you would want to hear about more differences, I can make video just about those, or yeah, you can maybe write a comment about what do you think is like different from Europe in US, and maybe I can read those comments and answer them. And I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and yeah, see you in next video. Goodbye and ciao.